Hello, everyone. Today I am mixing up a bunch of different versions of red. I have 5 different tubes of red, and I need to select which red is going to be the best for my intuitive painting series. As on the screen, you can see I have cadmium red deep, cadmium red medium, and crimson. Oh, and I have pearly red. I have no idea if I'm pronouncing that correctly, so sorry if I'm incorrect. Also, magenta. And I put magenta in only because I've worked with it on the purple side, so I know that it creates a very beautiful purple. And so I just wanted to make sure that that was in the mix. And then on the bottom, I have yellow and primary yellow and ultramarine blue. Those are just 2 colors that I happen to have that I know work really well together. And I just want to have a good, healthy mix of reds that go well with primary yellow and ultramarine blue because I already know that the yellow and the blue work well together. So as I start mixing the blues with the reds, I do an equal amount of blue and red. Blue and red have very similar strength of pigment when I mix them together. And so that gives me uh, an equal I don't want to say value because I'm not an artist and I know value has a specific term, but I can mix equal amounts of blue and red, and I'm going to get very similar colors as I go down the line. It's a good glimpse at what kind of purple I'm going to get out of those colors. And the winner is, I think the best purple ended up being magenta and ultramarine blue, which I did know from working with that in the past. So as we move into the reds and the yellows to making orange, I very intentionally started the mixing process closer to red because red is a much stronger pigment than yellow. And so, as you can see on the screen, I did kind of um, one red very close to the red pile. And then without washing my brush, I grabbed a little bit more of the yellow. So I did kind of half and half red on the very right. And then I just scooped another similar amount of yellow into the onto the already orange brush. And then I added the final pile is just whatever was left with yellow and what was on the orange that was on my brush. And kind of did this to see how much each of the reds would lighten up with the yellows. And the winner is cadmium red, medium, and primary yellow. I've never really worked with reds and oranges. It's not my favorite color to work with. And so this was a very fun experiment to find out what orange I liked the best. So the last colors that I'm mixing on the canvas or on this just sketch pad is I'm doing 50-50 ultramarine blue with primary yellow. And I already know that blue is a much darker color than yellow. So that dark green you see on the right, it's a nice dark, like a forest green, like a pine green. And then I scoop the same amount on my already green brush, and that gives me kind of more of an olive green. And then I just use whatever's left in the pile and whatever's left on my brush, and I get kind of a yellowish green. Um, I don't know what color green that is. And the winner is I went with crimson. The crimson is the orange on crimson. It's a little darker than the cadmium red, but that just means that when I'm mixing it for future palettes, I'm going to need to add a little bit extra yellow. And so I have that information. But the orange that crimson gave was definitely an orange that I like, a nice pumpkiny orange. The purple side of it, of crimson was it tended to look a little bit more on the bluish violet side, and I can work with that. It's not as bright as the magenta, but it's something that I can work with. So, the three colors that I've chose for my palette are going to be crimson, primary yellow, and ultramarine blue. Those three colors gave me greens, purples, and oranges that I can live with. And so crimson is going to be the red that I use for my intuitive painting series. Since I am new to painting, I've never had any formal training. I've just gone to a few paint and sip classes over the years. I would love to get your opinions. I also know that everybody sees color differently. So I would really love it if you would comment on the reds that you liked in this painting and the colors that you preferred based on how you interpret the color. But also, if you are a painter and you know the super secret reds that I maybe don't have access to in the Liquitex series, or if you use a different brand of paint, I would love to hear all of your suggestions. And, as always within the YouTube world, if you can like and subscribe, um, that's always helpful. And finally, I will be listing all of the materials that I used below in the video, just so you have those in case you are interested in replicating this experiment on the different types of reds and see how they work together. Happy painting. I wish you the best.